Well, great to be back on pitch side. Now, England triumphant in that last test match. They must be high on confidence as well. Lots of records being scored for them. Pakistan, well, they have a chance to redeem themselves. It's been quite a few interesting days, past few days in Pakistan cricket, and we'll be talking more about that as well. I've got with me my usual guests here, David Kawa and Amir Suhail. Welcome to both of you on pitch side, and it's always a pleasure to have you both. David, England looking good. Ben Stokes is back for them, so that's the big news. And more importantly, they're leading the series.
They are indeed, and they would have been delighted with the way that the last couple of days of that first test match unfolded, because they obviously built a position of dominance with the bat first. The bowlers then had a purple patch, and that was pretty much it. So England have made their changes, so a slight change to the bowling attack, which doesn't weaken it as such. Obviously, the batting stays as strong as it was before. Ben Stokes as their captain coming back in. We know Ben Stokes is a magnificent leader. Takes the pressure off Ollie Pope, who can now maybe get some runs as well. But yeah, that first test match was extraordinary. And as you say, quite interesting events, which is one of the biggest understatements I've heard for a long, long time in the other camp over the last 3 days.
Well, there's been a lot happening in that other camp, Amir. It's been a interesting, turbulent few days for Pakistan cricket. There's been a new selection panel. Babar Azam, Shaheen Shah, Afridi, Naseem Shah and Abrar not playing. They've been taken out of the squad. So a lot has happened, but Pakistan needs to firmly regroup themselves and come out and play their A game in order to win this test match.
It was complete inhalation for Pakistan. Before I'm offered a cold compress, I have to say that. I have to answer your question. Look, this mundanity of Pakistan cricket team has brought a lot of pain to the Pakistani cricket fans. And if they do not redeem themselves quickly, there is a huge peril. We might see disconnect of Pakistan cricket fan from Pakistan's cricket. So for that, they really need to redeem themselves.
I think there's a lot to talk about overall when you talk about the selection and everything that's happened. But we are ready with the toss now. So it's over to Arooj Mumtaz, who's out there with the two captains.
The sun continues to beam here in Multan as we are all set and ready for the Invrex toss for the second test match of 3 between England and Pakistan. I've got the two captains alongside, Shan Masood in his whites for Pakistan, Ben Stokes, welcome back Ben, in his whites for England, and Sir Richie Richardson to oversee proceedings. Well, Shan, you've got the coin? Here we go.
Tails.
Tails is the call.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Well, it has landed in favor of Shan. Shan, what are you going to do and why?
We'll have a bat first. I mean, just the condition of the pitch, and just want to put a good score on the board and see how it plays during the rest of the days.
Now, a lot has transpired in the last 3 days. How do you regroup to what is almost a new lookish side?
Look, I think firstly, playing a test match for Pakistan, however you play, whenever you play, wherever you play, I think it's the biggest opportunity for anyone trying to be, anyone that is a cricketer. So we're all excited. There's some rejuvenated energy in the camp, and there are things that we can't control. We can control what we can do on the field, and we can put our best effort here, and we're very positive about putting our best effort.
You talk about that rejuvenating energy as well. You've gone with a completely contrasting approach with this all-out spin attack, probably very rare occasion in Pakistan history of cricket. What thoughts behind that one?
Well, we're happy that the spinners have some conditions where we can actually show that we have some decent spinners in the lineup. So the onus is on them, the responsibility is on them, and again, the main task in Test cricket is to take 20 wickets, and hopefully as a team we can do that.
You also have one debutant, Kamran Ghulan, who's churned out runs at the domestic level. What thoughts on him?
I mean, personally, it's very heartwarming, because I know what it feels like to score runs in domestic cricket, still not make your way in the team. So he's finally got his chance, and we're all behind him, and we hope he has a memorable debut.
Shan, go well. It's good to see you still smiling.
Go well, Ben. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
Ben, firstly, welcome back in the whites. How's the body doing? Complete fitness
good,
back?
you. Yeah, very good.
If you would have won the toss, what would your decision have been?
Yeah, we would have batted as well.
Right. The last time you were here, you turned out some fantastic results. You must have been very proud of the way Ollie Pope handled the men last week.
Yeah, it was an amazing victory last week. Obviously, Getting put in the field straight away and bowling the way that we did and keeping our intensity and our attitude, I think in that first innings really set the tone for the rest of the Test match for us. I know Ruti and Brookie played some unbelievable knocks, but I thought the way in which the bowlers set the game up for us in that first day and a half was fantastic, and that allowed us to bat really big and then put in that performance with the ball in the fourth innings.
You mentioned the bowling group. You've gone with a similar makeup of the side with the three spinners. Matthew Potts and yourself make your way in. Completely different to what Pakistan's gone. Thoughts on that one?
Yeah, look, we feel we've got all bases covered. We've got our three spin options and Bash, Leachy and Ruti, and then the three seam options. So yeah, we feel like we've got all bases covered. We'll just have to wait and see what the wicket does.
All right, cheers, Ben. Have a good one.
Thank you. Cheers.
Well, the news from the centre here in Multan is that Pakistan have won the toss and they will have a bat.
Well, there you heard it. Pakistan has won the toss and they have decided to bat first. Amir, lots of changes in that squad. Amir Jamal is playing as the only seamer. Pakistan going ahead with three spinners.
Yeah, from all pace attack, Pakistan has gone to all spin now. Plenty of spinners there. But, they have picked up quite a few spinners, but the pitch has to respond. It has to offer some turn. Otherwise, it'll be a struggle for the spinners.
The pitch has to respond. I mean, this strategy that Pakistan has gone for, of course. Whereas if you look at England, they're still sort of relying, they've got Matthew Potts, Bryden Cast. I mean, they're still sort of balanced in that sense. Pakistan is very spin dominant, David.
Absolutely. I mean, if you add them all up, it's about 7 spinners and the one seamer, which is a huge imbalance. And for Sean to say at the toss, basically, that they're relying on the pitch doing its thing and the first innings runs are important is the most trite thing I've heard for a long time. It's glaringly obvious. I mean, the one thing Pakistan needed today was to win that toss and bat first, and of course try and make the most of it. If this pitch is going to do anything, it's going to do it a little bit later. It might be technically a 6-day pitch in one sense, but it's been a bit refurbished in the meantime. So I don't think they can rely on a lot happening straight away.
Absolutely. Like you said, they've done the first thing right, which is win the toss, and they have decided to bat first. But of course, we'll have a quick look at the pitch after this break because there's been so much conjecture around how it's going to play. So plenty to look forward to. Don't go anywhere. Back on pitch side, and we're back for this Bank Al Falah presents Kingdom Valley Pakistan versus England series. Now, Pakistan has won the toss and they have elected to bat first. There's been so much talk around this pitch, how it's going to be faring. We saw that there was a bit of moisture because it was watered down, and then we saw fans being blown to dry out the pitch. So lots of spinners being played by Pakistan, 3 in fact. So it'll be important to see whether it will offer that kind of turn that they're looking for. It's time for the pitch report, so let's head over to Michael Atherton.
Unprecedented, we think. First time that a back-to-back test has been played in the same stadium on exactly the same pitch. This is the same strip that we used for the first test match here in Multan. What has the groundsman been doing to try and bring this pitch back to life? Well, a couple of days ago, he watered it, rolled it, had 2 giant fans drying the pitch from either end, plus, of course, the hot sun. Yesterday, he just left it open to the elements, open to the sun to dry. And that means that the cracks, which had closed slightly a couple of days ago, have now opened up again. So you can see this crack here, quite open. It's basically how the pitch looked at the end of the first test match. But the cracks are very, very solid. They're not really moving too much. So I think it'll play pretty well for a day or two. Team selections are very interesting. England have hedged their bets. They've gone with a balanced side. 3 seamers, 2 spinners, thinking there might just be as much off the cracks for the seamers and with the reverse swing because of the bare ends and the way that the other pitches have been cut. They think the seamers might come into play. Pakistan are all in on spin. Just 1 specialist seamer, whole host of spinners. They'll be desperate to win the toss this morning.
Well, we saw that the fans were in action, Amir, in the last few days. There were these big, massive fans that we saw in all the pictures. And again, like you said, it has to turn. That's what Pakistan will be hoping for.
Well, not only these fans, they are blown. Pakistan cricket fans are also blown. So for the sake of Pakistan cricket fans, let's hope this pitch is going to offer something to the spinners.
just by looking at it and from what we heard from Athers, the cracks definitely do look wider. So, at some point, there is going to be a bit of turn and offer, David.
This is what's known as, I'm going to clutching at straws a little bit. Yes, of course. If you leave a pitch, a lot of people actually around the world watching from a distance are suggesting that play on the same pitch and see if anything changes over the next 5 days. Inevitably, something will change, but slowly, because once you put water back in, you've already started to sort of refurbish that pitch. So it's not quite, as I said earlier, a 6-day pitch yet. But those cracks are not wide. There's a little bit of dust around the place. But yes, you're right. Everyone knows that the entire plan hinges on Pakistan spin. But England, of course, have spin as well, which bowled better than Pakistan spin in the first Test match. England has a balanced attack. England has the better batting. So the relative strengths of the side still favour England. And the crucial thing now, the absolutely crucial thing, having won the toss, is that Pakistan need to put proper runs on the board.
There's one thing I want to add. If this pitch was watered and they use the fans, maybe on the surface it has become very dry. The moisture has evaporated. It might be retained underneath the surface, and if it's retained, that it is going to offer something to the fast bowlers.
All right, let's see how it fares. Like I said, Pakistan has done the right thing. They won the toss and decided to bat first. We'll take a short breather and we'll be back just in a bit and have a closer look at the England side. All right, then Pakistan batting first, and quite a few changes for them there. Abrar Ahmed is not playing. Sajid Khan, Zahid Mahmood and Noman Ali are there to strengthen the side. Kamran Ghulam also making his test debut. And for England, we've got Ben Stokes, their captain, is back in the side. And Matthew Potts is playing instead of Gus Atkinson. Well, Pakistan is banking on their spinners, but if you look at their record in the last 5 years, Amir, it's not exactly been their strength. They're averaging 40 with their spinners. That's what the averages are saying of the spinners that have played in the last 5 years.
I think the last time I saw Pakistani spinners excelling, that was in Sri Lanka. They bowled really well. But here in Pakistan, the reason why the average is so high, the pitches, they don't offer that much of turn and also the pace. And it becomes very easy for the batsmen to negotiate with that turn. And that's why they've been struggling. So, like I said before, they are heavily reliant on the conditions in this particular game. If the ball does turn, but if it turns slowly, that'll be manageable. And it'll be a struggle for them. And they have to have ball turning and zipping.
All right. Thank you so much for your thoughts, Amir and DG. As always, it's going to be a fantastic test match. Lots to look forward to in this second test match between Pakistan and England. Pakistan have won the toss and they have decided to bat first. We're going to take a short breather. And when we do come back, we'll be back with all the live pictures. So don't go anywhere.